let me show you every single side Easter egg for the Terminus map inside Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies. All right, so right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead and start with the Meteor Easter egg. So for this one, you're gonna need to have the power for the map turned on, and then you wanna go and put dead wire on anything you want. Now, when you do have dead wire on something, you wanna then head up to the storage area. Once you get up here, you wanna look up and you should see this antenna off in the distance, which you wanna shoot with whatever you put dead wire on. Now you wanna shoot the blue light until you hear a zap, and that blue light will turn into a red light at the top. What you wanna do next is drop down and go across the pack-a-punch to the other side, and above the building that you get your second Nathan code in, you wanna then shoot the second antenna. Now, once you have shot both antennas and they both have that blinking red light, you can now progress to another round. And then what you wanna do is head over to the massive laser cannon and just activate it. Now, if done correctly, you should see in the sky a little flash of light, and then something should fall out of the sky. What you wanna do now is head over to Castle Rock Island on the right side of the map, and once you get here, you should see that the beach is on fire and there's a bunch of random items thrown about, and sometimes you can even get wonder weapons from this. All right, however, next up, let's get to the boat race Easter egg. So around the map are 3 islands, and each island will have a boat that at all times one of them will be blinking. So starting with the one at the back of Castle Rock Island, you want to drop into the water back here. You should see a boat here, and if it is blinking, of course, interact with it. If not, then you want to head over to Temple Rock Island, and then here you want to look in this back section for another boat. Now, if neither of these are blinking, then you will find it at the third possible location, which is behind Crab Island. So of course, just come to the back right corner of the island and interact with this boat if it is blinking, and of course, you just want to interact with whichever boat is blinking red. And then what's going to happen is it's going to put you inside the boat race Easter egg. Now, this is pretty simple. I'm sure I don't need to explain how a race goes, so of course, just complete this and you can get yourself some pretty good rewards, and of course, all the way up to a wonder weapon. All right, however, next up, let's talk about the multiple fish Easter eggs. So for all of these, you're going to want to look into the water and try to find these little splash areas. Now, what you want to do when you find them is either shoot explosives or drop explosives into the water, and it will eliminate the fish that are in the water in that spot. You then want to just wade into the water and interact with the floating fish. Now, you won't see the fish actually get picked up, but you will actually pick it up. And now what you want to do, of course, is head up to the biolab. Now, when you get up to the biolab, you want to grab this brain that will be sitting on this scale on the top platform. And then you want to head all the way up to the engineering building and grab this pack of batteries that is sitting on the table. Next, what you want to do is turn and head into the jug room, but you want to go upstairs where you can find a ball of snow on top of the freezer. Then what you want to do is head up towards the quick revive room, but you want to take a left once you get up there. And then once you are up here, you want to grab this little aether flower thing tucked underneath the railing. And once you have that, you want to turn around and head into the mess hall, and then take your immediate left and grab this can of chili tucked into this corner. And then what you want to do is head to the adjacent corner in this same room and grab the oil on the shelf. And then at this point, once you have all these ingredients, you can now interact with the pan on the stove to put the oil, and then put the fish. And then at this point, you can do one of two things. So you can either put these ingredients in one at a time, which each ingredient will give you a very small limited buff to your ammo mods, or you can put all of the ingredients in and you won't really get any ammo buffs, but you will get the Culinary Delight achievement. Now, if you do this one at a time and you want the corresponding ammo buffs, basically what's going to happen is the brain, of course, is going to buff your brain rot. The batteries, of course, are going to buff your dead wire. The snowball, of course, is for cryo freeze. The little flower, of course, you picked up is for shadow rift. And of course, the can of chili is for napalm burst. Now, when you do this, like I said, it's going to give you a very short limited buff to those ammo mods. And by short, I mean it is like extremely short. But while you do have it, it's going to proc that ammo mods effect on every single zombie you hit. Now, on top of all that, there's 2 more things you can do with the fish. You can either just cook up a fish and then give it to Peck to get back the 5,000 essence that you bribed him for the code, or you can go and try to catch 50 fish total, and if you do that, you will then be granted with all of the perks in the game, as this is the Perkaholic Easter egg for this map. Now, as for the locations of each fish, I'm going to go ahead and play the locations that I found myself below. Just keep in mind that there could be some more locations that I haven't covered, but this is most of them. All right, now that's enough of that. Let's talk about a small Easter egg really fast, that being the free Rebreather Easter egg. Now, for this one, what you're going to want is an explosive, or at least in my opinion, the GS-45s are the best for this. And then you want to come down to the biolab. And then what you want to do is jump off the right side platform where the pack-a-punch is, and you should see this weird-looking rock at the bottom of the water. Now, just shoot this with the GS-45s or just blow it up with something, and it should move away, allowing you to grab the Rebreather. Now, what the Rebreather is going to do is exponentially extend the amount of time that you can spend underwater, and in fact, you can spend quite a lot of time underwater with this thing, which, on that note, can help for the next Easter egg. So, of course, let's tackle the free perk Easter egg, starting with the underwater chests. So, spread out around the map are a bunch of underwater chests that, when open, will give you a bunch of random things like salvage and essence. However, if you open all of them, it will then give you a free perk. So, for all the locations that I found for these chests, I'm going to go ahead and play them below. Of course, keep in mind that I might not have found them all, but using this guide, you should be able to get them all done.
Can someone please tell me why these aren't standard edition?
All right, however, that's enough on that one. Next, let's get to the cage Easter egg. Now, for this one, you're going to want to be in the biolab. And then what you want to do is come over to the side of the biolab with all of the cages. Now, when you get over here, you want to then eliminate every single zombie that you see inside of these cages while on the same round. Once you have done that, you then want to progress to a new round, and you should see a bunch of vermin are now spawned inside of these cages. Once again, eliminate all of these vermin on that same round, and then progress to another round. And if done correctly, on that third round, you should see that there is now a mangler inside of the cage. Now, if you are doing this on a team, of course, you will have more than one mangler. But of course, once you finish all 3 rounds of all 3 enemies, you will then be given a free perk. All right, now for the next one, we have the Spore Easter egg for the last free perk. So this one's going to require you to travel around the map and look for islands with these glowing spores on them. Now, what you want to do is just pop all of these spores, which is pretty easy. And when you're done, you should hear sort of like a rumble sound. Now, also keep in mind, if you are doing this with a tentacle nearby, it will make that tentacle go away. However, though, once you have got all of those gone in that one round, you want to then progress to a new round, and then you want to go around the map looking for a new island with the spores on it. Now, of course, you want to repeat this until you've gone 3 rounds and got 3 sets of spores outside. Once you have got the 3 sets of spores outside, you want to then find the 4th and final set of spores that will always be in the sea caves leading to the underground lab. Now, once you eliminate all the spores inside the sea caves, it will then drop you a bunch of items as well as your final free perk. All right, now that we have the free perks out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the free power-up Easter eggs. So first of all, you want to hop on a boat and come under the sea tower. Now, when you're down here, you want to look up underneath the right side sea tower, and you should see this X hanging underneath. Now, of course, just shoot this X, and what it's going to do is give you a free full power. All right, now next head over to Temple Island, where you can find your next free power-up located at the top of these ruins here. Then, of course, if you come over to the shipwreck, you can find a free bonus points in the top right-hand corner window. Then you want to come over to Crab Island, where you can find a free nuke power-up inside the windows that the zombies spawn from over by the armor buy. Next up, you want to head over to the biolab and go to the raised room in the back to the left of the elevator. And once you're back here, you want to shoot these boxes to move them aside, and you should see free double points in the back. All right, now next up, you want to head up to the quick revive room, where you can throw or shoot something explosive into the left corner under the clock, and here you'll get a free max armor. All right, and then finally, of course, you want to head over to the next room near spawn, look up into this watchtower, and either throw or shoot something explosive in this for a free max ammo. Now, if you have got all of those free power-ups, you can now turn around and look inside this zombie spawn to the left, and you should see a free fire cell. This will only appear if you have got all of the other free drops. All right, so enough on that. Next, let's talk about the free essence Easter egg. So for this one, you want to head up to the area outside the jug room and stand up on this box. Now, you want to back up as far as you can and jump and shoot as you see me doing, and you'll notice that if you get a hit marker, you've hit the basket. basketball. You then want to drop down and go to the other side of this room where you should see the basketball drop into the hoop and start spewing out a bunch of essence for you. You can also shoot pool up here for a free extra 100 essence. All right, however, next up, let's talk about the mega stuffy Easter egg. So for this one, let's go ahead and start into the stamina up room. So when you're in here, you should see that there's a locker slightly open that has a unicorn stuffy in it that you can crouch down and grab. You then want to head down towards the C tower, and as soon as you get in the little walkway heading up to it, you want to stop and look outside the gate to your right. All right, now once you've grabbed that, you want to then continue down through the mining tunnels, but you want to stop and grab the elephant stuffy to the left of the gobblegum machine. You then want to head into the biolab and grab this stuffed bear that should be located to the left of the workbench. Next, you want to head over to Crab Island and grab the giraffe that should be located to the left of this workbench. And then finally, you want to head over to the shipwreck and grab your last stuffy, which should be located in this large red dumpster. Now, with all of these stuffies in hand, you want to head back to the room with Juggernog in it. And when you get here, you want to just interact with any of the stuffies that you should see on the bunk beds. Now, what's going to happen is all these stuffies are then going to converge into the center, and they're going to create the mega stuffy. Now, what the mega stuffy is going to do is slightly attack zombies, but he's not really strong for that. What he's really good for is reviving you over and over and over again. Now, I have heard people say that sometimes stuffy will disappear, and I know that he can't go into the boss fight, but he is also extremely useful just to have around in general. All right, however, next up, let's talk about the jump scare Easter egg. So to do this, you want to head over to spawn and step inside the elevator. Now, you do need to take the elevator down from spawn for this to work. Now, what you want to do is as soon as you see the elevator door start to just about to close, about right here is when you want to jump one single time. Now, if timed correctly, you should hear some laughter and the elevator should break and start to turn red. Now, I'm not going to really show you guys this. I'm going to let you guys experience this on your own, but just know that this is pretty fun to do, especially if you do it to somebody that has no idea what's going on. However, next up, let's talk about the Wacka crab Easter egg. So for this one, of course, you want to come over to Crab Island. Now, when you get here, you want to look up and you should notice a cage stuck up in the trees above you. Now, you want to shoot this with something explosive or burn it with a Molotov. And what's going to happen is it's going to then drop crabs at your feet. Now, technically, there are now 4 sets of crabs around this island that will each give you 4 different rewards for doing the challenge. So your first set of crabs will be to your right, and this one is going to give you a free perk if you finish it. The next one, of course, is going to be to your right to the left of the workbench, and this one is going to give you a bunch of free salvage if you finish it. Then if you go to the other side of the island and across from where the armor buy is, you can find another one, and completing this one will give you a bunch of essence. And then finally, if you go to the left of the armor buy, you can find your last one, which completing this will give you a blue weapon. Now, really fast, keep in mind that at any point, if you fail one of these, it's going to spit out a bunch of live grenades, so you just need to make sure that you're watching out for that. All right, now we are almost done. We do have 2 more Easter eggs to go over, so let's talk about the music Easter egg really fast. Now, for this one, you need to find 3 Mr. Peaks headphones spread out around the map. So starting near spawn near the Jug room, you can find one located on this little table right outside of Jug. Then you want to come down to the mining tunnels. You can find your second pair of headphones directly across from the PhD flopper perk. And then your third and final headphones will be located in the biolab in the raised room to the left of the elevator. All right, now last but certainly not least, let's go over the cursed talisman Easter egg. So for this one, you will need the perk Melee Macchiato. When you have it, you want to come to the C tunnels, and when you're in here, you want to melee this broken wall to reveal a skeleton and a map behind you. Now, when you break it open, the skeleton's going to start talking to you, and you should also see that somewhere on that map is a large X. You want to then mark this on your map, or just go over to this portion of the map where you should find underwater is now a watch that you want to pick up. Now, once you picked up the watch, you want to then bring it back to the captain, and he's going to give you some audio about his mutinous crew who've taken his stuff. So at this point, what you want to do is go and get yourself 3 Molotovs, and you want to first head over to the shipwreck. Now, when you get to the shipwreck, you should see that there's a skeleton laying against the center mass. You want to throw a Molotov on this to burn it, and it's going to cause an HVT Mangler to spawn. Now, you just want to take this guy down and then pick up the coin that he's going to drop. And then what you want to do is head over to Temple Rock Island. Now, when you get here, you want to burn the second skeleton located in the very center of the island. And then, of course, take down this HVT and pick up your second coin. Then finally, what you want to do is head over to Castle Rock Island. And when you get here, you can find your third skeleton in the back on the beach. Now, once you burn this third skeleton, of course, take down the HVT and pick up your third and final coin. You want to then take this back to the captain. And what he's going to do is then spit out a couple legendary weapons for you. Now, this is not the end of the Easter egg. At this point, you want to wait 3 more rounds. And then what you want to do is come down to Crab Island. Now, if you've done everything correctly, you should see that after those 3 rounds, there's lightning now striking Crab Island. And in the back of the island is a golden glowing chest. Now, you can open this chest and then you can pick up the cursed talisman, which is basically going to give you permanent double points. However, also what it's going to do is then make it to where if you get hit, you will also lose money. So just keep that in mind. However, that is going to be all on this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you out. And if it did, please help me out with a like and a share. Otherwise, same as always, please don't forget to drop a follow, but make sure that it is not only here, as TikTok might be in trouble. So please drop a follow on all of your favorite platforms. But otherwise, have a fantastic day and stay safe. Oh, and for anybody that might have missed anything, well,